All right, it's time for, excuse me, the paper review this morning. Headlines across Nigeria. Really interesting headlines this morning. Let's begin with the Punch. But we have in the studio one of our regulars from the University of Lagos, Dr. Dan Ekere. Dr. Ekere, good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
It's always a pleasure to be here.
All right.
Yes.
The Punch is our first paper this morning. NBA SANS or SAN's kick as federal government orders freezing of CJN's bank accounts. Well, this is like throwing more controversy into the controversy that is on ground.
Yes, I don't know really what the Attorney General or the government intend to achieve with this. Already, the first one is facing a lot of hurdles. You are still doing another. Why not just do what is right and follow on? Should this man be found guilty, the normal punishment should be meted out to him instead of all these freeze this, freeze that, and not what have you. So I feel strongly that that perhaps will not be the right step to take.
It still raises issues about the process, which people like, respected Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, have been saying. We're not saying that whether the CJN is guilty of this
or not. That's not the issue.
That is not the issue.
But the process is wrong.
That is just the only thing that people are contesting. Nobody is talking about whether the Chief Justice is wrong or right.
Of the allegation.
That is not part of the issue.
The process is what's
in
contention.
Yeah, because the way you handle the process will suggest to people that there is more to it than.
But in the midst of all of this, the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has been saying, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, of course, has been saying that the President Muhammadu Buhari, did not even know about all of this drama playing out with the CJN until Saturday.
So was that meant to commend the President or to show he's not in charge or what?
Okay.
Exactly. Sometimes you try to make correction.
Yeah,
and then
because some of
backfires.
those defenses will eventually.
Let's face the fact. Let's face the fact. There is nothing that goes on in this country, especially things like this, without the knowledge of the president. Now, the point there is, that is not to say the president is behind it.
No.
There are two different things.
There are two different
if
things.
Said the president is not behind this.
There are two different things.
Yes.
But when it happens, even if it comes from maybe junior officer, as the case may be, the president is certainly, even within states, what happens within the states? The president certainly will have an idea.
He has enough, machinery to brief him of whatever is taking place. So,
all right,
I don't believe the vice president.
Let's move on now. A Boko Haram sponsored by forces outside Nigeria. Buhari is saying that. Now, this also contradicts what some government officials have said before, that some politicians are behind Boko Haram and all of that.
But in scenarios like this, you will always find, all manner of, positions being canvassed. Sometimes they are meant to, in some cases, down some tensions of, accusations and allegations of incompetence and all of that, and so many other issues. But on this particular one, since the previous ones, nothing has been done to actually establish the fact behind such. The same with this.
Well, Nigerians have said, if you know these people, okay, Nigerians are not even saying you must let us know. But what is the strategy towards ensuring, since you know where the source of the fund is, what is the strategy to... All right, that's the Punch newspaper now.
Be it? Okay, to the Daily Trust. Election defeat seems impossible, Buhari says. That's in responding to questions as to how confident he is about winning the election. Of course, he's been saying it over and over again, that losing is a complete impossibility.
Yeah, the challenge with the election is that, interestingly, like I've always told you, I've contested before, when you are in that mood, everybody believes he's a winner.
Yeah.
And you get this false,
about 91 of them,
this false confidence.
74. Yeah. They're all saying that they actually believe that they are.
If they don't have confidence that they will win,
why would they be in the race? Exactly. But I think ultimately, it's a good thing for members of his political party. The heads of other political candidates of other political party are saying the same thing. So it's beautiful. Go to the polls. Go to the polls and let Nigerians.
What is critical is that let there be genuine elections. That is free, fair, and credible elections. Let the votes count. That is the only thing that matters now.
But would you say in the election series so far that all the candidates, whether it's President Buhari and all others who have been, part of one debate or the other, have actually addressed the issues of how they would, take Nigeria out of poverty, for example, build infrastructure and what have you. Have you been hearing that?
The issues.
For me, yeah, you see, one thing we know is that those who have found themselves in this particular circle of, politics have equally trained themselves to fit into the system, and much of what you find in politics and democracy, it's about sweet talking, sweet mouth and all the rest. Okay. They're telling the people what they want to hear. But what we should be looking at is who among them has demonstrable competence to actually bring to bear those things that we are talking about.
Okay. Good point. Ex-Air Chief Amosun forfeits 2.2 billion naira to FG. 2019 polls, security are a major concern. U.S. and others, of course, they've been emphasizing that there is a need to actually do something. Of course, the police, with the new sheriff in town, has been saying this will be the first test. That's Mahmoud Adamu, the new acting IG. Yeah. The coming elections will be the very first test that he will have to face. Yeah. Well, let's
wait and see what he has to offer.
And Atiku has been speaking, privatize NNPC if elected. Of course, he said he did suggest the privatization of NNPC when he was vice president under former President Olusegun Obasanjo, but that his principal then actually refused.
Yeah, didn't buy into the idea. But again...
But the question Nigerians have been asking, who will be buying it in the event that indeed
that is just one aspect of it. And even whoever buys it, what will be the role of the NNPC?
Well, we're talking about the unbundling of NNPC one way or the other. But there are unions who have said, well, you can't just sell it. We have stake in it. There are militants, there are indigents of the Niger Delta who feel it is part of, all of that complexity around it.
I think the best approach to let NNPC just be a normal business enterprise, all right? But take the oil from them. Let there be true federation. Don't let this money...
Okay, and Asset AGF asked NFIU, Financial Intelligence Unit, to freeze CJN's bank accounts. We already talked about that.
The Nation is our next paper now. CCT trial, federal government freezes on against 5 accounts. And AGF writes NFIU, like you said, why NJC can't try CJN by Sage, and CUPP defends CJN. Ban on political rallies attempt to frustrate us, says Kwara APC. An ex-chief of air staff Amosun loses 2.2 billion naira to federal government. We're good to go, says INEC chairman. Yeah, we're good to go for the election. IG, massive deployment coming. Okay. And May wins no confidence vote. Theresa May of United Kingdom following the Brexit issues. Early exit for Quadri, others. Okay. And 7 kidnapped suspects held in Ondo. Magu detectives in Ghana to block slush funds. Talking about intercollaboration between governments of Nigeria and Ghana. Don't vote PDP, Buhari urges Nigerians. And you see on the front page there, the 80th birthday of Pa Bisi Akonde, flanked by many members of his party and leaders from the Southwest. Right.
Well, we'll say congratulations to him.
Congratulations and happy birthday.
Yes, indeed. All right, to the Daily Sun. How Buhari knew about Onogen's case. Professor Yemi Osinbajo, Vice President, speaking
I think the Vice President has taken it upon himself
to explain this.
Explain,
he's doing the work of the mouthpiece now. Like Mohammed is left behind.
All right, FG moves to freeze CJN's bank accounts, writes NFIU on domiciliary local accounts. We're not aware, says Onogen. AGF keeps mum. Okay, the Attorney General has really been keeping mum about all of this so far. All right, IGP talks tough on elections as Police Service Commission, as the PSC, warns against illegal transfer of CPs.
Yeah, that is a very, important issue.
They've been saying before you move any CP, before you transfer any CP, you must consult with the Police Service Commission, which really should be...
We're made to understand that it's actually the Police Service Commission that should
be responsible for. So there's a lot of illegality.
Yes, and it has been allowed to fester over the years. And I think this time has come for it to be corrected.
And the new, the acting IG seems to have put his foot down with the reinstatement of the Lagos CP.
And the others whom he
And
said,
many others. Not just
stay
the
action
Sangoma.
for the meantime.
Yeah.
The point there is there has to be the process. I think from the reports we got, they're saying there has to be the following of process.
Yes.
We're not saying they shouldn't move and all of that, but
They are
let
not
there
static.
be
They are not
process.
static. but
Exactly.
Follow due process.
you follow due process.
all.
That's what they're
So that it
saying.
doesn't raise eyebrow. It doesn't raise.
In fact, before now, not so many Nigerians know that it is the responsibility of the Police Service Commission to do all of those.
It has
Many
always been-
Nigerians don't even know
the
that
IG
there is,
doesn't
that
have
there
even
is
that
a
there's
police
even
service.
yeah,
Exactly.
commission.
The IG does not even have the powers to just move anyone the
But
way
that
he
is what
wants.
the IGs have been doing over time.
So I think this brings to light what
And
it
it's
should
been
be.
open to all kinds of
right.
things. Okay,
that all?
that's it. Nigerian envoy dies in Cote d'Ivoire. Very
Yeah, the
unfortunate there.
Nigerian
The
ambassador.
Nigerian ambassador to Cote d'Ivoire. Saraki warns against do or die elections. Of course, President Buhari has been saying this election is not going to be a do or die affair. And
I think the
since
only-
everybody
the-
seems to be on the same page
Yeah,
about
I
that.
think the only do or die
That-
election was in
But let's
2003
go,
or 2000. Was it
let the actions reflect
2003.
that. Let
That's
the
all.
actions of the actors reflect that it's not a
That's-
do or die
yeah.
thing.
Okay. All right, the New Telegraph is our last paper for this morning. Non-declaration of assets, federal government freezes CJN's accounts, and CCB serves criminal charge on Justice Honore. And Sage is saying NJC lacks power over declaration of assets offense. And Abakoba asks court to quash charges against CJN. And Oshibajo, Buhari had no prior knowledge of trial. Okay. Well, this is still going to go back and forth when it comes to whether the substance of this allegation falls under the NJC, and others are saying, well, whether it is financial or any kind of moral indiscipline, or whatever it is, it should be reported through the NJC, and it is when they complete their investigation and recommendation that
Then it can go
it can
through
activate the other part of
This is part of the problem
prosecution.
I have with this Western judicial system. The system of, yes.
What's wrong with it?
What's wrong with it?
A lot of things. Look at it. Sage is saying this. He's a senior advocate.
Yes.
Listen to the views of the various senior advocates and tell me that they are uniform.
Yeah, because,
they
they say, the
But
law...
the law is the same.
The law is you know what they say the law is. I don't know if I can use that word on TV. No, I will not.
Don't
You know,
do that.
so now you will interpret from your point of view.
That is part of the challenge.
It's
because-
just,
But,
it's
no,
just
no,
like...
but that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing. It's the
you
same.
call that the beauty.
Yeah.
That, okay, those who make the laws don't have understanding of what the law they made is. The judiciary interprets
The
it.
law is open to all kinds of interpretation.
Exactly.
At the
that's what I'm
end,
saying.
at the end,
You know,
at
with
the
different
end.
That is
motives.
what leaves this thing at the whims and caprice of judges.
No, but at the end, this law takes cognizance. It's just like when we sit on the table, where you are coming from is different from where I'm coming from. So that there can be this mix and engagement. At the end of the day, by the time we come to a conclusion, you will be convinced, she will be convinced, I will be convinced.
And
No,
then
no,
we'll
no,
have-
it doesn't
And then we
take-
have
will
a common
have-
front.
No,
Yes.
it doesn't make about conviction of everybody.
No, I'm talking on the
somebody
ground where we
once
come together to
described-
That is
talk.
why you see that sometimes you have 3-2 in terms of decision.
Yes.
You know what?
So what do you say about the two?
Hold
Yeah,
on,
they
guys.
agree?
Somebody once described the law as like an elephant. That the law is actually like an elephant.
Okay.
You know, you could be touching the elephant from one end,
And you think
you're,
your
what
perception
you're
of it
seeing.
from that angle.
There you go.
That is still Western.
All
law,
right,
not
Buhari,
Nigeria.
I'll jail looters, recover loot if re-elected. Okay, Atiku is saying there'll be no sacred cows under my watch. So all of them are talking about issues of corruption now and what their disposition will be. Ex-chief of air staff finally forfeits 2.2 billion naira to federal government, and Amazon's firm loses 101 million naira as Air Commodore Gbadebo forfeits 190 million naira. Okay.
People hearing billions.
Oh,
billions,
yes.
And yet the people are still hungry.
Nigeria's inflation increases to 11.44%, as the NBS is saying that. And we have this last one. Using cannabis once may damage teenagers' brains.
Just once.
Just once.
Just once is enough to do
Tells
the
you how bad
damage.
it can be. And on the front page there, you see the governor of Bayelsa State condoling
Seriake
with
Dixon.
the widow of one of the 5 pilots
Yes.
who lost his life recently. All right, Dr. Danekere, thank you so much for coming this morning on the
Very
program.
much.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you.